Everyone, to begin this program, let's start with the invocation to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, becomes successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinangalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong bagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang islang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ida Chongson, also trustee and chair of Techno-Ethics of Fintech Alliance.ph. Now, the adoption of technology brought a cultural revolution. In fact, technology has become so interwoven to our social fiber that it's hard to think a life without it. Despite the changes we embraced, we are yet to fully maximize the power of technology. Today, industry thought leaders and experts will guide us on how we can harness technology for an economic and social revolution. Technology for Inclusion is an event for revolutionaries of tomorrow to envision and materialize a socially inclusive and economically empowering digital future. Now, one of the first persons who drew the blueprint for unleashing the power of technology to uplift and improve millions of lives is Mr. Lito Villanueva. Mr. Villanueva is currently the chairman of Premier Organization of Digital Finance Players in the Philippines, which is our group, Fintech Alliance.ph. Like many partners in fintech industry, he has been a champion of financial inclusion and digital transformation. There's no better way to start this event other than having a revolutionary thinker to open this event. Let's give a warm welcome, please, to Chair of Fintech Alliance, Mr. Lito Villanueva. Over to you, Lito.
Thank you so much, Ida. And of course, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our participants for this milestone event. So what's in store for FinTech? After the recent State of the Nation address of our newly elected President Marcos Jr., his message was very clear. The future of digital is now, and it's official. Finally, it has become a priority to digitally transform the country. In the President's policy, he said that the e-commerce law will be prioritized. What does this mean for us Filipinos? Critical digital infrastructure in remote and disconnected areas. What does this mean for our country? We will eventually be a hot hub for digital finance, so we will grow. And what does this mean for the stakeholders in FinTech? The quicker adoption of FinTech tools that will help us connect with never before touched markets. Finally, we will be on our way towards a digitally bright future, and we have the government right by our side leading the way. What else can be expected with the e-commerce law? Consumers will now have a greater appreciation of digital finance, which will then motivate digital players to continuously provide greater and safer services and products. Sooner or later, we will achieve a consumer-centric market, which is what we've always wanted. This market will now include consumers in remote areas as well, a historic first for the Philippines. Our new president ordered the Department of Information and Communications Technology to implement the National Broadband Plan and the Broadband ng Masa project, which will help provide opportunities to these previously disconnected areas. Another important milestone will be the Public Services Act, which will attract valuable investments to the Philippines and provide crucial support for digital infrastructure. This is an amazing and liberalizing legislation, and the stakeholders of the FinTech industry are among the many that will greatly benefit. The National Economic Development Authority Secretary Palisacan heeds the call of our president to issue an additional 30 million physical national IDs and 20 million digital national IDs as well. The government committed to issuing a total of 92 million national IDs by the end of next year. The digitalization of information is a major building block of a digital financial future. The national ID will make it convenient for millions of unbanked Filipinos to join the formal banking sector. Unfortunately, 10 million adult Filipinos remain unbanked, as recently reported by the World Bank. But we need to not worry, because by when the government enables these legislations, our goal of reaching the unbanked will be closer than ever. Finally, it's clear we, the FinTech sector, share the same vision with the government in utilizing the power of digital to empower more Filipinos. Right now, we are at a pivotal moment in time, and this is the perfect opportunity to review what needs to be done and make that vision a reality. We are setting the course towards a robust and sustainable digital Philippines, and I have the Fintech Alliance.ph and 10x1000 to thank. Thank you for investing your talent, skills, and time to create space for the dream weavers for tomorrow. There are also members of the audience that come from the youth sector, and their participation in this discussion is very important, as they are the torch bearers of tomorrow. Let us treat this event as the State of the Future address, an event where we prove we are not just dream weavers, but dream makers as well. We don't just create visions, we make them happen. Partners, our speakers, and of course our audience for being the crusaders of the digital future. Most importantly, we thank 10x1000 for being a valuable partner in crusading a digitally inclusive future. Welcome to Tech for Inclusion. Thank you and mabuhay. Back to you, Ida.
Excellent. Thank you, Chair Lito. Lito is quite right. Many of the fruits of technology are products of collaboration. When the government and the private sector work hand in hand, not only do we see impacts, but we see a total societal transformation. In this session, we are actually privileged to have with us three of Philippines' top finance and economic leaders as our keynote speakers. Our first keynote speaker is a stalwart financial inclusion and has been an enthusiastic advocate of digital finance. Let us give a warm welcome and warm round of virtual applause to the former DSP governor and now the Secretary of the Department of Finance, Dr. Benjamin E. Jokno.
Mr. Lito Villanueva, Chairman of the Fintech Alliance.ph, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity to address all of you on this occasion. I commend the initiative of the Fintech Alliance.ph to collaborate with development partners and fintech giants worldwide in preparing and nurturing local talents to accelerate the digital transformation of the country. This undertaking ultimately supports the Philippine government's relentless push towards comprehensive digitalization and a globally competitive knowledge economy. Under President Marcos Jr.'s administration, we will put greater emphasis on pursuing technological innovations to build new industries, enhance the delivery of public services, and create many employment and investment opportunities. All this will allow us to bounce back stronger from the pandemic and ensure the long-term recovery of our economy. For instance, my marching order to the Bureau of Internal Revenue and the Bureau of Customs is to fast-track the respective modernization programs to increase our tax effort. The government expects to collect more revenues on the back of a faster and more broad-based economic growth. Thus, efficient and effective tax administration will be critical in funding our socio-economic priorities. We will rely heavily on digital channels to broaden financial inclusion. We will accelerate the rollout of the Philippine identification system to bring us closer to the goal of achieving e-governance and widen access to financial products and services among our people. We will continue expanding the reach of the Overseas Filipino Bank, our first ever branchless, digital-only government bank dedicated to serve Filipinos abroad. More competitive and innovative products will be developed to cater to the specific needs of our. We will pursue a more inclusive and broad-based capital market through the power of fintech. When I was central bank governor, I have made it my mission to digitize half of all retail payments and onboard 70% of Filipino adults to the formal financial system by 2023. I trust that we can count on your support as we move towards this goal. In the coming period, we will take advantage of the game-changing reforms already in place to invite more fintech investments to flourish in the country. With the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Law, the government will pursue investments that are consistent with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. This will strengthen the culture of research, development, and innovation in the Philippines. The amendments to the Retail Trade Liberalization Act, Public Service Act, and the Foreign Investments Act will widen the space for investments in and joint venture opportunities for enterprises employing cutting-edge technologies. We have a young, highly skilled, and tech-savvy workforce. This is our strongest asset. The Marcos administration is strongly committed to increasing our investments in human capital development to equip tomorrow's workforce to become globally competitive stewards of innovation. In closing, I wish Fintech Alliance.ph initiatives all the success. I'm very eager to meet all the future tech innovators and industry leaders produced by your programs who will radically transform the Philippine digital economy. I'm looking forward to closely working with you as we build a more sustainable, inclusive, and digitally enabled future. Thank you.
With Secretary Jokno, he did mention about the vision of fusing technology and finance, catering to everyone, particularly special mention to the OFWs or overseas Filipino workers, and support their families by fast-tracking modernization programs under the current DOF Secretary will surely generate important capital for the country to invest in critical projects in digital infrastructure. By the way, we are also live in Facebook page of Alliance.ph for those wanting to go back and check what the Secretary has mentioned. Now that we are discussing how you can make it more convenient for people to create, protect, and grow their wealth, it is perfect to know about where Ant's group 10 times 1000 can amplify efforts to accelerate digital growth. Private companies such as Ant Group saw liberating power of digital finance, which is why they invested heavily in designing products and services that are inclusive, sustainable, and green. Let's please welcome Mr. Leming Chen of Ant Group to talk more about 10 times 10,000 mission. Mr. Leming?
Thank you, Ida. Thank you, Mr. Villanova. I am Leming Chen, a Senior Vice President of Ant Group. Distinguished guests and speakers, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me first commend Fintech Alliance.ph for organizing this event and its leadership in catalyzing the Philippine fintech ecosystem. Your Honorable Mr. Secretary Diono, thank you for your inspirational video message. The Philippine fintech sector and its impact on the real economy have continued to make significant progress in recent years. The financial artery of the economy, the channels in which money flows, have continued to digitize. Last year, the share of digital payments to retail payments volume in the Philippines rose to 30% compared to 20% in 2020, still far below the 50% goal Ms. Diono set. This means many more Filipinos can enjoy the conveniences and benefits of the digital economy, especially as the economy rebounds from the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. Here, the BSP has been instrumental. Under the BSP Digital Payments Transformation Roadmap, policymakers and the payments industry have been working hand in hand to ensure the healthy development of the digital economy and to achieve broad financial inclusion. And it is very encouraging indeed to see Secretary Diono and the Marcos Jr. administration's focus on further deepening financial inclusion and digital transformation. Under Mr. Villanova's leadership, Fintech Alliance.ph has also played an instrumental role in catalyzing the broad fintech ecosystem around sustainability and inclusion. Today, the Philippine fintech industry includes over 200 companies, and we at Ant Group have been a committed partner for years. In 2017, Ant Group invested in Mint, which operates GCash. And we're excited to see the progress and contributions that GCash continues to make. Looking ahead, I believe our shared digital journey is just beginning. from mom and pop shops in Manila to the entrepreneurs spread across the Philippines' thousands of islands. Digital technology and fintech have the power to enable many more opportunities. However, technology alone will not solve this digital puzzle. Digital talent is also needed. It is estimated that the Asian Pacific region will have a shortage of 47 million tech talents by 2030. Our digital journey at Ant Group started 18 years ago. And from the beginning, our focus has been on solving problems and customer pain points through innovation and technology. Ant Group's registered new patents have grown 37-folds from around 400 in 2016 to over 6,000 last year. Over 60% of Ant Group's employees today are technical staff. Our experience tells us that talent is the key to healthy and sustainable growth. In October 2018, Ant Group and International Finance Corporation, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, jointly launched the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion. It is a philanthropic program that aims to close the global digital skills gap by training 1,000 emerging talents and tech leaders each year for at least 10 years. Our mission is simple: to cultivate local talents to become drivers of the digital economy. And through our programs in the Philippines, we hope learners will also be inspired to help to transform the Philippines' digital economy. Our vision is to support more Philippines MSMEs, professionals, and entrepreneurs by providing world-class fintech training and curriculum and access to a truly global fintech community. 10x1000 is also a global community. In 2021, the 10x1000 certified over 1,000 fintech learners from 63 countries and regions, representing 347 institutions and enterprises. 30% of our 2021 learners are women. 10x1000 is also a platform to establish long-term partnerships with like-minded organizations to work together towards a common goal of digital transformation, sustainability, and inclusion. Last year, 10x1000 forged a partnership with the Fintech Alliance.ph to offer more training opportunities to learners across the Philippines. And together, we also worked with many leading organizations, distinguished individuals, and outstanding startups across the Philippines to certify over 120 learners. From Mr. Villanova to Mathis Sosong, CEO of Gcash, to Rexy Dorado, president and co-founder of live streaming app Kumu, we had some excellent speakers. We also worked closely with local VC firms like 917 Ventures to train local startups. A learner from last year, Ms. Augie, co-founder of a local startup, Grocery, participated in our Fintech Foundation Flex program. Subsequently, Grocery successfully secured Series C investment, and we invited him to share his fresh and successful fundraising experience within the 10x1000 community. This year, 10x1000 will continue to expand its partnership with Fintech Alliance.ph. We will increase access to our Fintech Foundation sharing program and offer 500 seats to Filipino learners this year through our partnership with Fintech Alliance.ph. We're also honored and excited to welcome Ms. Regina Planas from the Philippines, IFC Fintech and Digital Banking Specialist, as an expert lecturer on leadership in digital transformation this year. Later today, this program, our colleague Kyle will provide greater details on 10x1000's programs. Let me encourage all of you to take advantage of this unique learning opportunity. In closing, allow me to thank Mr. Villanova for his partnership and for organizing this exceptional event. On behalf of 10x1000, we look forward to working closely with our partners and friends across the Philippines to support this digital development. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Leming. Now I'm understanding more of this. Leming, by the way, is the Senior Vice President for International Public Policy and Government Affairs of the ANT Group, overseeing the legal and compliance functions of the ANT Group's international businesses.
Again, just continuing this programs. Again, thank you so much, Leming, for your message. And in fact, this will definitely be a good collaboration between ANT Group's 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion, as well as the Fintech Alliance.ph. So we're while waiting for Ida to re-log in, so maybe we can now play the second keynote address coming from the newly appointed governor of the BSP and the chairman of the Monetary Board, Professor Philip Medalla.
Good day, everyone. On behalf of the BSP, I'd like to express our appreciation for Fintech Alliance.ph and the ANT Group for bringing 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion program to the Philippines. The BSP is one with you in pursuing capacity building efforts such as this, geared towards digital transformation of the Philippine economy. By harnessing high-potential talents and tech leaders to utilize innovative financial innovations, we can help uplift a key driver of inclusive growth, our micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. Based on a Department of Trade and Industry survey, 70% of the MSMEs have yet to adopt electronic platforms and transition into e-commerce. Another recent DTI survey found that 23% of MSME respondents did not use information and communication technologies or ICT tools for business. In another survey, 73% cited the need for capacity building, particularly in the areas of financial management, customer development, and content management. Given the vast potential of MSMEs, it's important to promote and speed up the digital transformation to achieve inclusive and sustainable economic recovery. In 2020, the BSP launched its Digital Payments Transformation Roadmap. It aims to promote payments digitalization and financial inclusion. The fintech industry is one of our key stakeholders in our journey towards achieving this policy agenda. Through enabling regulations, appropriate infrastructure, literacy campaigns, and capacity building programs, fintechs can help empower businesses and in turn accelerate payments digitalization and broader financial inclusion. Two of the four key objectives of the recently launched National Strategy for Financial Inclusion 2022 to 2028 are first, the promotion of inclusive digital finance, and second, improving and expanding the financing of MSMEs. To achieve this, we have important initiatives underway which are designed to promote digital payments adoption by MSMEs. For instance, the BSP recently launched the QR.ph program with the Department of Interior and Local Governments. This program aims to promote QR.ph cashless payments in all public markets and transportation hubs nationwide. QR will leverage the policy championship and support of our local government units as a strategic partner in our digitalization efforts. The BSP is also developing the proposed basic merchant account framework to promote market offering of no-frills, low-cost business accounts to small business and micro-entrepreneur. That digitalization is key for MSMEs to thrive in the new business environment cannot be overemphasized. Digital innovations enhance productivity, reduce costs, diversify products and services, increase sales, and improve competitiveness. Hence, the BSP is committed to continuously foster an enabling policy environment that drives digital payments adoption and advances financial inclusion. At the same time, we continue to promote payment safety and efficiency, financial stability, and consumer protection. Ultimately, our goal is to unlock the full potential of financial innovations to bring about the delivery of safe, affordable, convenient, and responsive digital financial services to all Filipinos. Again, congratulations to our partners for the successful rollout of this capacity building initiative. Maraming salamat.
Excellent. I apologize. I disappeared there for a little while, and I think it's about the possible earthquake yesterday may have affected. Not sure, but before commenting on what Governor Medalla has mentioned, can I just mention again? You may have missed 10 times 1,000 is actually offering the Philippines 500 slots. So straight after this, I suggest for those that are interested, a lot of people are actually asking me about this, do register straight away. Someone did comment, can we have a copy of this? You can actually go back to this. We are live in Alliance.ph and social media page, Facebook page, and you can check again what our regulators and speakers are or have been saying. Okay, so Governor Medalla did mention about the insight about 73% of the micro, small, and medium enterprises need capacity building and an opportunity for 10 times 1,000 to assist Filipinos in amplifying their participation in the digital economy. The fintech industry is one with Governor Medalla and the rest of the government in supporting the MSMEs to become one of the primary generators of sustainable recovery. Now again, 10 times 1,000 Fintech Alliance.ph are one with the view of the government by empowering micro, small, medium enterprise, and we can radically rebuild our economy. This event is a byproduct of common vision. For this common vision to uplift and improve millions of lives, we need an action plan or a program. So who's best to actually talk about this, to implement the programs that reflect the goal of providing inclusive, sustainable, and green services? And the best person to talk about this, as I mentioned, is Mr. Kyle Smith, the head of content of 10 times 1,000 Ant Group. Let's give a warm round of virtual applause to Mr. Kyle.
Thank you so much, Ida. And thanks to Governor Medalla, Mr. Villanueva, and all of our distinguished guests, our partners and friends for joining this event and making it possible. We really appreciate it. My name is Kyle Smith. I am the head of content for 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion. I'm responsible for designing and developing our programs and our curriculum. And today I'd like to just briefly share with you an introduction to our programs, a little bit about how we create them and what you can expect to get out of our programs. Now, before I begin, I would just like to ask my colleagues to show you a short video introducing one of our key programs, the Fintech Foundation Program Flex, just to give you a little bit of a better sense of what we offer. So I'll ask my colleagues to go ahead and pull up this video on screen.
It's your time to flex. X1000 Tech for Inclusion. A leading fintech training platform introduces the Fintech Foundation Program. Flex. Flex your mind. Flex for inclusion. Flex for you. With this custom curriculum designed to enhance your mindset, knowledge, skills, your foundation in fintech from blockchain to AI, security, IoT, and computing. The world of fintech is changing, and so are you. To help you stay ahead of the curve, this fully online digital certificate program brings cutting-edge content from global experts and industry leaders in a flexible and self-paced learning framework created for busy professionals like you. Join a global fintech community of innovators and changemakers. Leverage the latest technology to solve problems and take your career to the next level. Let's flex together to drive digital economic growth. Are you in?
Great, thank you so much for sharing that video. And now I'm just going to share my screen here and very quickly walk you through what it is that we offer. I think our guests so far have really shared a great high-level overview of the vision and the strategy here. So I'll go a little bit more into detail on the programs and the curriculum that you can expect from 10x1000. So just as a very high-level overview here, we have a few key things that we look at in developing our programs. One is, we have a very custom-designed learning journey, going from this curriculum steering committee, a group of global experts in fintech, in finance, in online education, who help guide all of our programs, which are also developed with a lot of input from our learning community. We also have a global network of lecturers. These are, industry leaders, thought leaders, really, people who are operating at the top of their field within the digital economy, who provide all of the content. So these are experts coming from all over the world, and all of our lectures and content are developed, with these leading experts. We develop the lessons with our own instructional design methodology, really to give you a full sort of learning journey to help you advance in your career and become a leader within the digital economy. Our curriculum is structured, so we have a few key modules going from mindset, which is really the why. Why is financial inclusion possible now that we have advancements in digital technology, to the what. So sort of knowledge, what are the latest trends and best practices in the industry, and then also to skills, which is really the how. So, we don't want it to only be theory and knowledge, but also, really practical takeaways that you can use and deploy in your organization and your career to really advance professionally. And all of our learning is designed for busy professionals. So we have, very professionally produced video lessons. They're all in bite-sized modules so that you can learn them on the go. We have quizzes so you can test your knowledge. And of course, a lot of co-learning within the 10x1000 community. So you're not just learning from our lecturers and content, but also from other members of the community from around the world. And then this is just a quick overview of our curriculum steering committee. Again, real global experts who are at the top of their fields in finance, in fintech, in online training and education. And here to the right, you can see an overview of our lecturers from 2021. So again, real global thought leaders from all over the world, including lecturers from the Philippines. We had Rexy Dorado, president and co-founder of Kumu, who delivered a really outstanding lecture for us on engaging young consumers and young employees. So these are just, a quick snapshot, but we're adding many more excellent lecturers this year. So this network will continue to grow and to expand. All of the content is hosted on 10x1000.org. So this is our online learning platform where you can come, you can register for programs, you can access our lessons and content, you can take quizzes, you can engage with the community, and you can also, once you complete a program, receive your certificate, which is powered by blockchain technology, and access that. So this is really sort of a holistic online learning platform for you to access all of the content from 10x1000. And then, just to go a little bit more into detail in terms of the programs that we are offering. So, some of our speakers have already mentioned the Fintech Foundation Program, which is the first, fully online program that we launched last year. This is the foundation program that we offer. It has, 9 different lecturers again, real thought leaders in the industry covering a variety of topics. So under mindset, we have the relationship between digital technology and inclusive growth. We have, an overview of financial inclusion in Asia, high-level insights on the digital economy and financial inclusion. And then going into knowledge, we're really talking about the tech behind fintech. So, okay, we understand, the role of digital technology, but what technology actually makes this possible? So we go into the technologies behind blockchain, AI, security, IoT, computing, and really invite some high-level lecturers to offer their insights on these topics. And then going into skills, really providing specific frameworks for, leveraging technology to scale your business, or leveraging technology to solve user pain points, bringing in two, fintech CEOs from leading fintech companies in Southeast Asia. So these were the expert lecturers we brought in for our foundation program. In this program, we offer in two different formats. We have a facilitated program, which is, guided, it's cohort based. We have teams and facilitators and capstone projects. We also have a flex version, which is, it's more flexible. It's self-study. You can access the content at your own pace. So it's really designed for busy professionals. So we have different options for how you can learn with us, but really trying to provide this content to as many learners as possible. And yeah, last year, we launched the foundation program. We had some really great feedback. As Lainey mentioned, we had over 1,000 learners, graduate from our programs last year, more than 60 countries and regions, a very high satisfaction rating. So we were really, inspired by that. And we've got on screen here just, some feedback from some of our alumni in terms of, what they learned from the course and what they think they can then go ahead and apply in their career. So, really, we were inspired by the feedback, and definitely, even more inspired to pursue our mission and continue to grow into 2022. So this year, we are excited to expand and continue to grow. We're going to add more breadth, so more programs, more advanced learning paths, more depth. So going really deeper into some key areas that our community told us that they were very interested in learning about. Really going deeper into the technology, going deeper into digital transformation, and also things like product, and really providing some really concrete takeaways that they can deploy in their career. Diversity, so bringing in more lecturers from even more different regions and types of organizations, and then of course practical takeaways and case studies that you can watch this lesson and then have some real concrete learnings that you can go ahead and deploy in your organization. So in terms of what we're rolling out, we have a few different initiatives that we're very excited to bring to our community. We're adding new languages. So our foundation program will roll out in French, and we will continue to explore additional languages next year. We're also adding new lessons to the foundation program, including financial inclusion in Africa, and some really practical insights on tech solutions that are available now. So if you are from a smaller organization, maybe you feel like there's a gap between where you can reach a level where you can start to very quickly deploy technologies like AI. We're going to offer a lesson from an expert on really thinking about what are some quick steps, practical steps that you can deploy and start to leverage different technologies more rapidly within your organization. So these are some of the additions for the foundation program. But we're also very excited to roll out entirely new programs in 2022. One of them will be our Fintech Expert Program. So this is, again, an advanced learning path, for our alumni who have completed the foundation program. We're rolling out this more advanced program, really going deeper into some key areas. For example, digital transformation, we have some great experts talking at the macro level, some different trends across regions, across industries, and also at the micro organizational level. We have Regina Planas, who is here with us today. She was one of our excellent lecturers this year, talking about how to become a digital leader and drive digital transformation within your organization. And then in knowledge, really going deeper into these key technologies, AI, blockchain, cloud. What are the key concepts that you have to understand for these technologies? What do you really need to know to leverage them in your organization? And then finally, the skills section, really talking about what are some concrete practical takeaways. For example, designing your tech strategy, implementing AI for inclusive finance, blockchain. And then we have a really great lesson on building a world-class fintech product from Rengga Waseno, Chief of Product at Dana Indonesia. So really an outstanding lineup of lecturers, and we think this content is really going to be of value to our learning community. So we're very excited to bring that to our community later this year. We have another program that we're rolling out, the Green Fintech mini series, where sustainability, green finance, green fintech. It's such an important topic all around the world right now, and we have a really strong lineup of lecturers who are going to introduce the concept behind sustainable finance and green fintech, really at a high level, right? So what is the ecosystem? How do different players like banks, fintechs, regulators, consumers, how does this all come together, and how can you think about participating in this important domain, and then bringing in some specific case studies about green finance. So again, helping think about different ways that you can get involved, even leveraging different assets that you might already have in your organization, like data. How can that be used to drive sustainability? We have some great sharings on this. And also, from Ant Group, we have a lecture talking about Ant Forest and how we create a green product to drive green consumer behavior. So we're very excited to bring this mini series to our learners this year as well. And then in terms of, if you're interested in these programs, I've listed out the main programs we have here, Foundation, Leadership, Green Fintech, and we also have a leadership program, which is a little bit more niche, focused on senior executives in a smaller cohort. But basically, we have two ways to join. We recruit through our partners. So our partner network is able to refer learners to join us, and we also recruit through alumni. So anyone who has finished one of our programs, they're able to then go ahead and recommend any friends or colleagues who may be interested to join our programs. So if you're interested and you'd like to learn more, you can always reach out to us at info@10x1000.org to learn more. If you're not sure of who the partners are that you can work with. And finally, just starting to wrap up here, I would just like to highlight our global network of partners. Really, what we do would not be possible without these outstanding partners from around the world, a variety of different organizations, including Fintech Alliance.ph, including Gcash. These partners, are so important. They share our mission and our vision, and they help us, recruit learners, provide us with lecturers, really all sorts of, support and assistance. So we really do appreciate all of our partners for supporting us and joining us in this mission to drive financial inclusion and digital economic growth. So yeah, that's just a very quick highlight. If you'd like to learn more about our programs, you can go to 10x1000.org/learn. You can also reach us at info@10x1000.org with any questions. But yeah, I'd just like to wrap up here and thank you for your time, and look forward to engaging with you within 10x1000 in the future. So thank you, and back to you, Ida.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kyle. Kyle, please keep a slot for me. I'm personally interested in being one of the 500 for the Philippines. There are questions about, the cost, or questions about how long it's going to take and that sort of thing. But stay put. We will tackle that later on in the session. And do you get a certificate and that sort of thing? So we'll tackle that later on. We have here IFC World Bank, and they have actually been a strong partner of the private sector in finding ways to bring sustainable impact to communities in the light of the climate crisis, poverty, hunger, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Regina Planas, who, by the way, is with us joining from Spain, who woke up at about, 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much. She is the digital banking specialist of IFC FIG Advisory for Asia and the Pacific, and she will share with us her insights on digital finance. Over to you, Regina.
Yes, thank you, Ida. And thank you to everyone for joining us in this virtual event, launch event for the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion platform with Fintech Alliance.ph. As Ida said, my name is Regina Planas. I'm a digital banking specialist at IFC's Financial Institution Group, Advisory for Asia Pacific. So at IFC, I help institutions build greenfield native digital banks for inclusion, and I support the digital transformation of financial institutions. So I'm really happy to be here to meet the members of the Fintech Alliance, the current leaders of some of the exciting fintechs in the market, as well as future leaders who I am convinced will lead the Philippines to the forefront of innovation for inclusion. So thank you again to Lito and to Laming for inviting me to participate. Just a bit about a background about myself. Apart from being a digital banking specialist at IFC, I'm a consumer banker at heart with 25 years of experience in building and managing viable and sustainable consumer banking models that have delivered double-digit growth and profit through various economic cycles. I've also been very fortunate to lead the digital transformation of large retail banking businesses in Spain and Portugal to build a digital-only bank. So I was asked to share my views about the fintech landscape in the Philippines, right? So I'm Filipina, born and raised, but I've spent most of my career focused in the US, Latin American and European markets. So when I joined IFC Manila 2 years ago, I was instantly drawn by the vibrant fintech sector in the Philippines. As they say, the Philippines is one of the fast-growing fintech destinations in the region, if not the world. Why? Number one, because it's dynamic, and you can see with a rapidly growing number of fintechs each year. Number two is the high growth potential that the market has, given the large target market and the huge opportunity for inclusion. You know, I think our distinguished speakers had mentioned the 70% gap that we are trying to address. The supportive regulators, and again, the presence of 3 keynote speakers, such important government officials, is a testament to this. 4 is the access to capital and the tech-savvy population, right? So these are some of the enabling, I think, conditions that make the fintech sector in the Philippines so interesting. But like any other emerging market, I think it is not without any challenges, right? So I think we're faced with a challenge of reach, especially reach and access, especially for the lower income populations. There is the challenge of having to increase awareness and education among the consumers, and information asymmetry and the lack of, you know, reliable credit data that we are trying to address, right? The good news is all of these challenges can be addressed with digital and customer experience innovation. So I'm very excited to be part of this ecosystem and to witness, you know, the fintech sector and the members of Fintech Alliance.ph and the future leaders really drive innovation and really see how this innovation will unfold with a group of talented individuals that operate in the Philippine market. So regarding the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion program, I think it's an amazing initiative that has the power to really increase financial inclusion and closes the digital skill gap. But more importantly, it has the power to bring people together and really create a community where people can share their knowledge, their ideas, their experience, and a common vision of really working towards a more inclusive and economically enabled society. So 10x1000 is fully aligned to the IFC and World Bank Group's development mandate. We at IFC are committed to the critical agenda of accelerating digital adoption and usage of digital financial services. So the focus of the bank's efforts has been to promoting innovative financial services using digital technologies to help foster greater inclusion, improve protection, and restore opportunities for the poorest and most vulnerable people. So IFC is happy to co-sponsor and partner to launch the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion platform. I think we all hope that the platform will inspire new thinking, provoke solutions to the challenges that the financial sector is facing in a rapidly changing and digitally enabled world. So the Flex program, I think, is a great program to start with. It's got great speakers, good insights, inspiring stories. And what I like about it especially is it's flexible, so you can do it at your own time. And it's a fantastic forum to really connect with tech and inclusion leaders around the world. So on closing, just to leave you a note, I recently found out or learned that technology is actually from 2 Greek words. So maybe most of you would know, but I just actually picked up on this like recently. So techne, which means art, craft, and skill, and logos, which means spoken or written word, right? Expression. So the reflection that I'd like to leave you with is technology for inclusion, understanding where technology, the word comes from, is actually about strategy, leadership, people, and a digital first mindset. So again, thank you to everyone and to our partners for inviting me to participate. I really look forward to being able to connect with many of you in the 10x1000 platform. Over to you, Ida.
Yeah, wonderful, Regina. You know, us fintech players, it's always a challenge for us getting the right people as well. So this is actually an avenue in getting our own people to go in and learn more. I like that what you mentioned about the art, craft, and skill, and the point on the strategy, people, and digital. Okay, and lastly, and this is it, you know, we're always saying there's not a lot of people that are skilled, and this is the one that is closing the digital skill gap. Thank you again, Regina. Now the 10x1000 continues to make impacts on communities and individuals. These impacts brought convenience and opportunities to countless lives, but also invaluable insights to industry leaders. Now, one of the people whose perspective has changed is Lawrence Ferrer, President and CEO of CIS Bayad Center. Let's welcome Lawrence Ferrer as he shares his insight as, you are one of the 10x1000 alumnus. So over to you, Lawrence.
Hello, Ida. Pleasant good morning to the distinguished speakers and audience. Maybe a little background. I've been an old timer when it comes to financial service, even before fintech, about 20 years ago. I was part of the team that launched Smart Money. So this was the very first mobile wallet in the world. And after which, I've done a lot of digital innovations in Smart and even in Paymaya, and now with Bayad, as we launched our own mobile wallet. I took the, despite having years of experience, I still had the knack of really wanted to learn, particularly the new innovations. No? So I took the 10x1000 Fintech Leadership Program late last year, and it truly was quite a revelation. There were quite a number of current topics, such as the youth segment, the Gen Z, sustainability, the green economy, the monetization of digital financial services, and many more. The program flow was quite simple and easy to follow, with numerous facilitators that made it feel comfortable. And of course, they brought in seasoned speakers, leaders in their respective fields, sharing their own experiences. Another opportunity for participants is obviously the ability to ask questions and share their learnings in different breakout rooms. So you get to learn from the best practice across the different regions. So it's something that I personally enjoyed, being able to know exactly what's happening in other Southeast Asian countries. Secondly, and equally important, is the connectivity and being part of a global community that fosters collaboration, pushes financial inclusion. So once you're part of this, you can effectively ask questions across the different members and participants and leaders. So take advantage of it. Obviously, the platform itself, the 10x1000 platform, is an excellent avenue for continuous learning. So when I checked the site, they had different opportunities for adding knowledge, particularly the new trends. So I was curious about blockchain and obviously the digital transformation. So those are topics that you can learn more. And you will be able to, aside from continuous learning, you will be connected with your peers in the industry. Hence, I encourage all the viewers to take advantage of this program and use it to improve your businesses and create meaningful solutions for the Philippines. With that, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence, for your insight. I do want to ask you some questions, but we have to manage our time here. We have our next speaker. She's one of the people whose organization has hugely benefited from the 10x1000. She is none other than Crisel Lazatin, Territory Sales Manager of the Philippines at Brancas. Round welcome of applause, please, for Crizel and Crizel. For our format with you, if you don't mind, I'll be asking you some questions for you to share your experience. Now, tell us more about yourself first.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ida, and good morning to everyone, to all our participants, and of course, our esteemed speakers as well. My name is Crizel Azetin. I'm actually part of the sales and business development team at Brancas, and we are an open banking or open finance technology enabler in Southeast Asia. So at Brancas, we leverage on API technology and expertise with different financial institutions and, of course, the other sectors to be able to improve accessibility to financial services in the market so that these businesses would be able to build better financial experiences in their own platforms and products to ultimately create a very robust, competitive, and customer-centric financial services. Just a bit about myself. Prior to Brancas, I was also working with a credit analytics company focusing on credit scoring solutions and data analytics. I have roughly 11 years of sales and business development experience across the financial services and consumer goods industry.
Okay. Well, as a practitioner, how do you view the fintech developments in the Philippines in the past few years?
Yes, all right. So I think in a nutshell, just resonating also what the previous speakers have shared with me or have shared today, I would summarize this into three things. So first, we've definitely seen an acceleration and growing momentum in the fintech space, right? We've seen that the pandemic has really tipped the scale in expediting the development of a lot of these solutions. And what I've seen is we're seeing a more growing acceptance of new solutions, right? We're seeing the cloud-based technology now being accepted. And of course, open finance technology being at the forefront of this digital wave, right? It's something that's really very exciting. Still a little bit confusing or some more to learn about the open finance framework. But that leads me to my second point, right? Because we've seen the trend when it comes to open banking, open finance, perhaps in other markets, or we've heard about this trend in the local market as well. And we seek to a lot of our regulatory bodies for guidance on this one. And I think that's the second theme that I've seen here in the Philippines when it comes to the fintech space. As shared earlier with our keynote speakers, the regulatory support from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and other regulatory bodies like the SEC and the National Privacy Commission has been very exhaustive. We've seen a lot of tremendous support in being able to champion digital transformation to support financial inclusion. We're seeing this in the form of, the open finance framework that was launched by BSP last year and is actively working with trade associations to be able to concretize and really build that guidelines and framework for the community or for the industry. And we're also seeing initiatives that are partnered with trade associations, right? So we've seen, for example, the Philippine Fintech Industry Sandbox that was partnered by BSP and other trade associations out of our industry sectors as well. Where for the more traditional industries, like we have insurance, they're now transitioning into insurtech, real estate, now exploring prop tech initiatives, and remittance, just being able to aggregate into perhaps a digital remittance platform. Those are some of the trends that we're seeing. When it comes to lending or financing, we're seeing a rise in the buy now, pay later schemes, or even the players entering the market to offer accessible loans and quick loans. And as was mentioned earlier, there is a particular focus already in the micro, small, medium enterprise sector, right? We're now seeing fintechs catering to access for business loans in that particular sector, as well as the retail and general trade, digitizing themselves as well. We're seeing players offering, digital access to distribution of commodities and goods, even purchase of fuel or pre-purchase of fuel through platforms or mobile applications. And that's very interesting, right? Because we're seeing it not as a separate sector altogether, but really the services or the financial technology encompassing a lot of the traditional services. And of course, we're seeing new industries emerging. We see crypto companies or blockchain. We're seeing the e-gaming industry grow as well, and social entertainment applications like Kumu, who have embedded financial services there. So it's quite a very exciting journey for us in the next few years, even post-pandemic.
Definitely it is. In fact, it's quite robust. If I may say so, I'm actually part of the Open Finance Committee with the Banco Central. And that leads me to my other question about the female in the fintech industry. What do you say about that?
So for me, it's very exciting to see a lot of female leaders championing fintech development and solutions across, the top players in the industry, right? We're seeing female executives leading top digital financial institutions or digital wallets, and a growing number of women entrepreneurs in the fintech space. So in a country where, in a country like the Philippines, where 7 out of 10 Filipinos remain financially excluded, and 33% of that are actually women, it is encouraging to see fellow women be the driving force behind development of these services and solutions and catering to the largely unserved sector as well, right? And with the rise of the female entrepreneurs or the female leaders, with not just within the formal economy, right, the digital fintech space or the micro SMEs, we're also seeing the rise of the leaders or women entrepreneurs in the informal economy. So the e-commerce merchants, those that we're seeing selling on the social media platforms. I think that has played a key role in influencing how the fintech players are offering solutions to market, right? Such as being able to offer access to loans or capital, and then even just on a business management or personal wealth management perspective or access, it has really been able to play a key role in being able to provide insights on what we could best offer to the market or to this particular sector. For instance, I saw that, when it comes to financing, women are actually the largest group of users for seeking financing online and also offline. So the article and the research that I saw shared that I think 70% of women actually tried to claim for financing online and 58% offline. So that actually puts a perspective in terms of where some of these up and coming financing focused fintech players could focus their initiatives and how we could better tailor that solution for the users, the female users.
Yeah, that's right. This really is a domino effect by assisting women and making them aware of this and going digital. Last question, your experience about the 10x1000, and what can you say about the learning sessions?
All right, thank you. So I think Ms. Regina and Sir Lawrence actually shared a lot of my thoughts already. So I would also just ask financing online and also offline. So the article and the research that I saw shared that I think 70% of women actually tried to claim for financing online and 58% offline. So that actually puts a perspective in terms of where some of these up and coming financing focused fintech players could focus their initiatives and how we could better tailor that solution for the users, the female users.
Yeah, that's right. This really is a domino effect by assisting women and making them aware of this and going digital. Last question, your experience about the 10x1000, and what can you say about the learning sessions?
All right, thank you. So I think Ms. Regina and Sir Lawrence actually shared a lot of my thoughts already. So I would also just echo their sentiments in terms of how my journey with the 10x1000 Foundation Program last year was actually very enriching and fruitful. I really appreciated that the program was thoughtfully designed to be a holistic learning experience. It didn't just focus on knowledge building, but of course it had the mindset modules, which really helped set the stage for us to understand as a fintech professional what is available and what are the trends, not just in my local country but also in the region. It helped me prepare to understand the succeeding modules, like the more technical sessions, which would be the knowledge module. And for the skill set, of course, that was also particularly something that I appreciated as a professional, because it did provide use cases and insights, not just in terms of the solutions, but the different situations that we could possibly navigate through, or situations that we would probably encounter as fintech professionals, and how we could adapt and cater to a lot of these situations. So that holistic learning was really beneficial for me, because not only was I able to apply and learn, new concepts and new learning, but I think it was overall development in terms of how I could approach my contribution into the fintech space locally and from a global perspective.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chriselle, for your insights, and thank you for sharing. I'm kind of keen in asking more questions, but we'll keep it as that in the interest of time. Thank you again. Now we have the opportunity to ask the experts. I'd like to call back, please, Kyle of the ANT Group, and of course, Chair Lito Villanueva. Please join us. If you can please share your insights and some views. I'll start with Kyle. Kyle, before the question here, can just quickly, how long does it take to do the courses? And because these are pending questions, is it going to be free? And what's the other question? You already answered the other one, which is you can do it on your own time. So the first two ones, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ida. So in terms of the length of the program, the courses generally run about 3 to 4 weeks with a couple hours per week. So we have these 3 modules, mindset, knowledge, and skills. Each one is, just a couple hours to go through and then take the quizzes and things like that. It's a little bit more time for our facilitated programs, but the flex ones are very much, you can just come on, access the content at your own pace and complete the program. So yeah, about 3 to 4 weeks and a couple hours per week for the time. And yeah, the programs are free. There is no charge to participate.
They're free, but of course, there's a limit as far as Philippines at this moment is concerned, which is the first 500. Okay. Do you get a certificate after the course?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so all of the learners who complete the program, go through it, complete all the quizzes, they do get a certificate. It is certified by ANT and IFC, and it is powered by blockchain. You can access that right on 10x1000.org.
Excellent. Thank you. Couple more questions. The technology market continues to evolve. Do we expect that you will continue adding new content and programs every year?
Yeah, thanks, Ida. That's really a great question. And in short, yes, we will be adding new programs and content every year. This year, as I shared, we've got 2 entirely new programs: the Expert Program and the Green FinTech mini series. That's 14 new lessons to our curriculum. And in the coming years, we'll continue to build upon this library, bringing in more experts, covering more topics that are relevant to our learners and, really critical to become a leader in the digital economy and financial inclusion space. And, all of our content, again, is designed with feedback from our steering committee, but also from our community, what our community is telling us is important to them, what are their pain points, what do they need to know. So we really build this program in a very agile format, based on, the feedback that we're getting. So in short, yes, you can expect more content from 10x1000 as we continue in our mission to enable professionals like yourselves.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Besides the program, sorry, last question. What else do we expect?
Yeah, so, yeah, besides the program, I think another really key part of it, of course, we think the programs are very valuable and important, but the community aspect is really just as important in terms of the benefits to our learners, because when you join 10x1000, you're joining, a really unique global network of professionals from around the world, throughout the digital economy, who are really passionate about financial inclusion, digital economic growth, and you can learn from this network. And our community management strategy is really designed to facilitate this. So, for example, we have annual events, 2 annual events throughout the year where we bring in guest speakers. We have facilitated networking portions. We also have local events where we actually have some of our alumni, become local connect leads, where they're actually organizing local events in their community to network and to engage with each other and speakers and so on. And we have, periodic webinars and online salons for networking and learning and things like that. So yeah, I would say in addition to the programs, you're really joining a very unique and engaged global community of professionals.
Excellent. Global networking. I like that. For Lito, I think our employees and the people in our community will be interested in this program, 10x1000. How can we participate?
Yes, thank you, Ida. And I think, again, thank you so much for the great event, the collaboration amongst all these players and stakeholders. I think I've been seeing quite a number of questions coming from the participants, no? And they've been asking about when will they start, how do we communicate in terms of how they can participate, etc. So if I may, you can email us at secretariat@fintechalliance.ph, no? And just to to highlight, this particular initiative, I think the 10 times 1000 Tech for Inclusion program is an empowering curriculum for emerging talents, to unlock the power of digital finance. And of course, we know that the rising industry pioneers, leaders, and advocates are equipped and trained to maximize the power of fintech to accelerate and strengthen the micro and small and medium enterprises towards growth. And this program also aims to support the growing digital economy in the Philippines. So this milestone collaboration between Ant Group's 10 times 1000 and the Fintech Alliance.ph will continue to train thousands of budding Filipino digital leaders, practitioners, and even graduate students in harnessing digital finance for economic growth. So you learn from global digital leaders and practitioners and be able to apply them in your respective businesses, as what Lauren said as well, and the other speakers. No? And Laming earlier mentioned about the looming scarcity in digital talents that could even reach at over 40 million. No? So globally. So this is now the frontier. This is the next flashpoint. So for this program cycle, we were allocated limited slots of about 500, as what was mentioned by Ida. So this will be more of a first come, first served basis. So I encourage everyone, or all our digital practitioners, leaders, and even students to avail of this great program. And the most important to know is that participating in this program, as what was stated earlier, is free of charge. So again, to all those interested, you may email us at secretariat@fintechalliance.ph. Our collective goal is to promote shared prosperity. So let's seize this opportunity. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Please, again, if you don't mind, Lito, that can be shared in the chat so people won't forget how they can.
I am typing it now.
Yeah, it could be through secretariat@fintechalliance.ph, or it could be info@10x10,000.org, or through the website as previously shared in the chat. Thank you again, Kyle and Lito. I wish we have longer time to actually go through this. I'm getting excited. I definitely will enroll on this one. We have one more keynote speaker. He will provide to us their insights from the public sector on supporting digital finance to generate massive economic growth. Please, let's give warm welcome to SEC Chair, Mr. Emilio Aquino.
Greetings from the Securities and Exchange Commission. I'd like to extend my congratulations to Fintech Alliance.ph for this timely and welcome collaboration with Ant Group's 10 times 1000 Tech for Inclusion in a larger scale recruitment of Filipino talents for the Flex Fintech Foundation Program. According to recent data, despite the setbacks presented by the COVID-19 global pandemic, those sectors which are driven by digitalization have managed to continue growth. Digitalization across Asia, specifically in the Southeast region, has accelerated at a rapid pace. In fact, the digital economies of ASEAN member countries are forecasted to reach a total value of $1 trillion by 2030. In the Philippines, according to Fintech News.ph, fintech firms garnered $342 million in funding during the first half of 2021 alone, a record high amount reflecting a strong interest in fintech from investors and consumers alike. Parties involved in fintech in the country have been working diligently to foster further development. Noteworthy is the first of its kind fintech industry Sandbox program, a collaborative initiative between major parties from the Philippines digital finance sector like Fintech Alliance.ph, Fintech Philippines Association, Alibaba Cloud, and the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, among others. We at the SEC have as well been keeping ourselves adept with the ever-changing developments in the fintech landscape and have recognized that the Philippines is primed for fintech innovation. We have devoted substantial amount of resources into digital transformation of SEC, including the capacity building of our personnel, and to promote an innovative culture within the Commission and capacitate us with technical expertise to effectively regulate fintech in the country. We have launched the Philippine Tech Innovation Office, or PIO, on July 30 of last year. The PIO serves as the first focal point of contact for fintechs in navigating the SEC's regulatory landscape. It is tasked to formulate and execute regulatory responses that promote the growth of fintech while at the same time upholding consumer and investor protection. More so, we conduct Present Me Anything, or the PMA sessions, wherein companies will be able to pitch ideas relative to their innovation or business models directly to the PIO, enabling SEC to take a more proactive role in encouraging and supporting fintech innovation. Also, on February 11 of last year, the SEC joined the Global Financial Innovation Network, or GFIN, a network of more than 60 organizations committed to supporting financial innovation in the interest of consumers. Through its participation in the GFIN, the SEC will be able to keep abreast of innovations worldwide and utilize them in the development of efficient regulation and forward-looking policies. What's more, in coordination with the GFIN, the SEC will now be able to perform pilot testing of new technologies to assess how a product or service might operate in a live market setting in multiple jurisdictions. As the fintech industry matures and gain more interest and support, we expect fintech innovations and solutions to become commonplace in the coming years. In a country where small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, comprise 99.5% of all businesses, there is much to be gained by ensuring that such growth will be felt by everyone. I commend the Fintech Alliance.ph in collaboration with the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion for this initiative to disseminate expertise to help emerging markets develop more digital talents and close the global digital skills gap. Surely, the 1,000 talents and tech leaders that you will train each year for 10 years will in the future drive innovations which will promote financial inclusion and create more opportunities for everyone in the digital era. I therefore wish you the very best in this endeavor. Thank you very much, and mabuhay!
Oh, thank you so much. That was such a heartfelt, warm speech by Sec Chair Emil. This is how serious the government is. We have the three valuable speakers in the economic and finance industry that just gave their comments. In the case of the SEC, they even made a department. It's called the Philippine Fintech Innovation Office, which we can contact, and very, very supportive in ensuring that we, together with the ANT group, together with Fintech Alliance, we do push for that, the 10x1000 to be able to have that gap on a digital skill gap, or close that digital skill gap. Now, while we close this event, Many doors of opportunities have opened for us through the valuable conversations started by today's speakers. And for sure, all of us can convert all those ideas into plans, designs, blueprints with this program, particularly Flex program. And before we wrap up today's session, may I please request all the panelists, Lito, Laming, Lawrence, Kyle, Regina, Crizel, kindly open your videos and join us here. And to officially close this event. Okay, can we have Laming as well? And Regina, kindly open. Yes, thank you. Lauren?
Yeah, for some reason, I cannot open my video.
Okay.
It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay, host kindly allow
Okay,
Lauren.
good.
That's great. Excellent.
Okay,
and
great.
Lauren?
Thank you.
Okay, so we have there, to officially close this event, can we please request Laming Chen, the Senior Vice President of the ANT Group, and of course, Lito Villanueva, to give your final remarks. Laming?
Thank you, Ida. Thank you, all the speakers, for your excellent remarks. As you can see, talents have a key role to play in countries' future prosperity, and more so for digital talents to drive innovation and technological progress in the Philippines. We can achieve this together by inclusively collaborating with all. Wish all 2022 learners from the Philippines a meaningful learning journey ahead, and thank you all. Ida, to you.
I was on mute. Thank you again, Laming. And now we have Chair Lito Villanueva of Fintech Alliance.
Thank you, Ida, and of course, thank you, Laming. Thank you to Regina, Kyle, and of course to Jason, to Lynn, and all the men and women, or the women and men of the 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion program. So again, on behalf of the Fintech Alliance.ph, coming from over 70 digital companies that comprise the Fintech Alliance, that now collectively contributes to about 90% of fintech initiated transactions volume in the Philippines today. Would like again to thank you for this great collaboration, and of course we are tapping our partners as well in the academe to be with us in this program, as well as the other regulatory bodies and government agencies, and of course fintech players operating in the Philippines, to take advantage of this free program that will further elevate your skills, your technical know-how, and of course how to run the business in so far as being at par with the global players, especially in this digital economy. So I think this limited number of slots of 500 would definitely be a challenge for us on how to allocate these 500 slots, right? But I think we will be able to fill in those slots in no time at all. And of course, I hope Laming and the rest of the other 10x1000 organizers will eventually provide us with more slots moving forward. Again, thank you so much.
Lito, it's not 500, it's 499. I've taken one.
Actually, right now I'm getting lots of messages, from
I am too.
WhatsApp,
I am
Viber,
too, from my personal friends. I am too.
Aside from so I'm getting lots of inquiries right now and asking me to reserve them as slots. So I said you have to register.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, we shouldn't forget one of the most important, which is the photo op. So please, the panelists, please open your videos. Kindly, Regina and Crizel, would you mind just lifting your head up a little bit, because it's covered by the, yep, there we go. And if we can have someone take the picture, please. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. And another one, please. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. There you have it. We have been blessed to hear the views of both public and private sectors, Philippines economic regulators, the Department of Finance, Secretary Jokno. We have the BSP Governor Medalla. We have the SEC Chair, Emil Aquino, as well as excellent panel members. Let's please give them our very warm virtual round of applause. And thank you again for joining us in 10x1000 Tech for Inclusion. We hope to see you in future engagements to make the digital future happen. I'm Ida Chongson. It's been a wonderful program and nice of you to spend your time with us. And God bless and stay healthy. Thank you, everyone.